Hi and hello, watch fans, and welcome to another edition of the Real Time Show. With me, your friendly neighborhood jeweler, Alon Joseph. Today, I'm very honored and proud to welcome to the virtual studio Mr. Andrea Maggi, the owner of Squale Watches. Buongiorno, va bene?
Yes, hello to everybody. Hello. I'm happy to be here and to have the show together with you.
You are fantastic. You love La Dolce Vita. You breathe that into your brand, Squale, which I believe in Italian means shark.
Sincerely, Squale, the pronunciation is French because the word is French. It's because in Italian it's squalo with O. Squale is the family of the sharks in French.
So I think it's time you change the brand name to Squalo.
The family of Von Buren family, their founder, killed me. Okay?
So all kidding aside, you're celebrating your 65th anniversary this year. So congratulations. That's an amazing feat. I am very excited to hear the whole story because I've been a huge fan of Squale. As a collector of vintage watches, you will see the name pop up on a lot of dials. There's a intricate intertwining with Blancpain. But before we do so, please tell us a bit about yourself.
About myself, I can say that I was born between watches because of my father, even my grandfather, they were dealing with watches. And concerning Squale, I remember when I was really young, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 years old, I used to go with my family, with my father, my mother, to Neuchâtel, where Squale is born, and to spend the holidays there. For me, was not so exciting because we were always talking. They were always talking about work, and in Switzerland, in this time, my family was quite. The education was quite rigid. I don't know how to say, strict. And so we have to stay always waiting to do something. We're always waiting. So it was not such a great period for me. But Von Buren and the family, they were great. They were fantastic. And we used to go also skiing on the Tête de Rhin. There is a mountain close to Neuchâtel. And also there was a lot of good times. And so I can say that really I was born between Squale, between watches, I can say. After that, of course, I graduate and I start working with my father, and after I start managing the brand in the last I can say 20 years. The Squale, the brand, was at the beginning a little bit sleeping because we also were involved in other business with watches. And in the beginning of this century, I start pouring attention and focusing more on this brand. And I see that it was a very exciting experience at the beginning. And I don't know if you want, I can say more about the brand, or you want that I speak more about me. It's up to you.
I want to hear more about you and about the brand. We have 1 hour. I want to speak as little as possible. The listeners do not want to hear me, so please keep on going.
Okay, about me, I can say that I love working. I love always thinking about to do something new. And for what concern the watches, I'm always thinking, oh, maybe this is good, this could be better. I'm very curious about everything also. In this year, I was traveling also a lot around the world for me, and also because of the watches. And always, I think that it's a crazy experience, that you have a job connected with the watches, but give you also the possibilities to to travel and to see other people and to exchange opinion and to see how the world is running. And because many times I see, for instance, mainly in the south of Europe, many people are very linked to the tradition, and they are scared about the judgment of the world because they feel this like a potential. They are afraid to be out of the world in this time. So they hate it to be the judgment. I think in this moment we have to be exactly opposite. We have to be ready to see the judgment and to try to understand why. Also, this is very important. Not only to see there is a judgment, but to understand the reason of the judgment, and this is very important for me. What do you think?
I think that's very, very good to hear because you look very young, but you've been in the industry quite some time. As a boy, you told us. How many years are you in the industry?
Now I'm 60. I'm not anymore young.
So, if you're 60 today, was it a good recollection of my mind that your family were the distributors for Squale in Italy?
Yes, exactly.
Please tell us a bit about that.
Yes, my father, as I already explained, was involved in the watch industry because my grandfather was before was a jeweler. We have a watch, a gold factory, but in the middle of Italy, and exactly when in the Gothic line, when there is war between. Okay, when American arrive in Italy and they start to fight against the German, there was a line called Gothic line, and I can see around around Rome, I can say, and because of this, the American were bombing heavily. So my grandfather tried to save the company, but it was heavily bombed, and so you have to. After the Second War, they had to start again, and they started with not more with the gold, but with watches. So I never met my grandfather, but this is the family memories, no? And so my father started working as well, and I think in the 60s, in the beginning, he met von Buren because he was heavy traveling in Switzerland, and they started importing the Squale in Italy. As you told me, as I told you already, maybe Squale at the beginning was a watch factory focused in making diving watch, but not only with his brand, or at the beginning, not even with his brand, but with the Squale, the logo, was only to prove that the watch were made from the Squale factory. It means they were reliable in terms of diving, no? And the brand, so they sell the watches to other brands. So my father started doing this job for together with von Buren. He imported the watches in Italy, and he sold the watches to some brands also very popular in Italy and in Italy. And the same was doing von Buren for other countries around the world. So this was the beginning with my father, the story between my father and Mr. von Buren and the Squale. That's why we are, in a certain way, a sort of a tradition that passed from through my father from the von Buren family. There's something very, very difficult to happen because it was not just a simple buyer, but they were very, very linked, sort of partners, I could say.
Very interesting and beautiful to hear that there's such a long tradition between the two. So, how did it evolve that today you are the owner of the brand, Squale?
it the evolution was that when Mr. von Buren he was born in the beginning of the last century, so he wanted to retire because Monique, the daughter, she became a marine biologist, and the son was more involved in a cave, a winemaker in Switzerland. No? So they were not really interested in to go forward with watches. So my father bought the company, and the company in the 80s, even if the 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 brand remained in Switzerland, the headquarters when my father transferred the headquarters from Neuchâtel to Milan, Italy, and for more than 20 years, we became the owner of the brand in Italy. But this brand was okay. The company Squale, SRL, that this is the right spelling from of the company, was a a family company owned by my father, my mother, me, and my brother. After when I decided to move again to Switzerland for to try to have a better control of the watchmaking, and I bought the shares of the all the family from all the family, and I became the only owner of the brand. This is exactly the what happened and this is exactly why I can say that I am the only owner of the company. Of course, this happened also with some little family fight, like is normal in every good family with good reputation. But this is another story that I prefer to avoid.
It's funny, you raised it and you avoid it because we have so much ground to cover. I'll avoid it for now, but in chapter 2, I will address it again. Going back to Squale. So we have an SRL based in Milano. Today, is it a Swiss company or an Italian company?
No, now it's a Swiss company. I closed the Italian company, and I moved to Switzerland because I think Squale was born. Okay, even if I cannot deny that we have a Italian identity in terms of maybe color or this kind of things. The Squale, the watch Squale, was born in Neuchâtel, Haute-Rive. There's a little village close to Neuchâtel and on the lake of Neuchâtel. And so the soul, in a certain way, is Swiss. And also for me, when I start managing again the Squale, I I feel that I have to respect the heritage that I had. So, for instance, I started studying more the watches and the history, I can say, history of Squale. And when I started introducing new icon, new watches, I always want to keep in my mind that I have this tradition and I want to respect the tradition. So I was just adding something more to, in order to have a line, I can see a line from the past to the present to the future. And this is very important. So for me, because I think that when you have a heritage so important, because really we are discovering every day something very crazy interesting for that Squale did made in the past, a collaboration, people that was involved in the buyer, a lot of very such interesting stories that I think I have to respect, and I want to to go on with this tradition. And this tradition, of course, comes from the Swiss heritage that we have.
Andrea, when you meet somebody who doesn't know watches and they ask you, what do you do? You say, hey, I'm an owner of a watch brand, Squale, because I see you use the word, you mix them, you use the French pronunciation, the Italian pronunciation.
Yes, Squale, yeah. Okay, Squale sometimes is better, yeah.
Okay, so anyways, the shark. We call you the shark. That's
Okay,
your nickname. And how do you present the brand? What do you say? So when you present the brand, what's your elevator pitch? How do you present Squale?
I think I present Squale is a brand, is a niche brand. I love to say, with a lot of heritage, and that is can we say one of the first watch brand that represent the history of the diving watches. I can say this. So I think that this is exactly the truth because you can if you see the story of the other brands, it's very very rare and difficult to find such a great story. And Mr. Fulburen, Monique, she told Monique is the daughter of von Buren. We are still in touch, and she told me that when her father in the 50s he was invited for diving. No, he started thinking, how can I make a real diving watch? Because in this moment, the diving was the beginning of the diving. You know, that you don't have other, and the watch was something extremely important if you want to go diving. You know? And so in this moment also there was not the crown, the screw crown was not existing, and you only have maybe the plexiglass for the pressure to resist. And so I think when I say this and the people go start checking a little bit on Google what is Squale, the history, they became everybody say, oh, it's crazy. I see so many interesting things. There is is a stone of the watch of the diamond watch history. I only say this. I don't need to explain too much, sincerely speaking. And many people also ask me why you are not so well known around the world. But this is because maybe we keep on making the watch as breaking the brand as a niche brand, not try to expand like other brands that are very very known. I don't know, like I don't know, Tag Heuer or Blancpain and so on. But I cannot. Maybe in the future we can we can reach this position. Maybe I don't know.
Is the ambition there?
Really, I think that if I'm able to make this niche a little bigger, I'm very 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 happy. Because otherwise, it's not anymore something that you can do. Managing a company as a family company, you need to maybe we to become in this moment a share company, you know, to use more money and to do this. You need a different company. Okay, I don't know. Till now, I never was thinking about this. Sincerely speaking.
We'll come back to that because I made a little sidestep to bring it back to the history of Squale and what makes it famous, because within the collectors community, the brand is legendary. The Van Buren case is legendary, the asymmetric case. I'm wearing my 1521 Militare, which is based basically on that original case. I believe that within a dive world, especially for the tools and the watches, Squale and the Van Buren are intertwined and legendary. I want to raise the topic of Blancpain and Van Buren and Squale. Can you tell us and educate us a bit about that?
As I told you, know, Squale was the beginning a watchmaker, a case maker, no, mainly. And so the connection. So first, if we come back, everybody try to come back in the past, in the 50s or the 60s. Also, the brands, they were not so precious like now. I mean, now every brand they have the power comes from from the brand. In this moment, the people were building the brand. Where is the beginning of the, in a certain way, of some brands. Same for Rolex, same for Blancpain. So, as I already explained, von Buren was trying to make diving watches, watch reliable for diving, and we are now. If the people is able to come back in the past, von Buren was living in Neuchâtel, that is a few kilometers far from La Chaux-de-Fonds, and everybody was connected. Everybody know the other people watchmaking. So it was extremely simple in this moment to have a connection between Blancpain and von Buren. And from Blancpain committed von Buren to make for instance, the 50 Fathom, the case, and also they also make other and even earlier they make also other Blancpain together. We have some in the stock. We have some old case, still with the case back printed Blancpain. That of course they are in our safe, but so everything that now looks crazy and so difficult in this moment was extremely more simple, because we are really talking about the beginning of the diving watch history. And this is something that people must keep in mind, that and not only with Blancpain, the von Buren was making watches for many other brands. So 50 Fathom, of course, is very known. There are many series of the 50 Fathom, and I think von Buren make 1 or 2 or 3 edition, and after they went on their Blancpain take another path. But this is exactly the story. This is what I know from the tales of Mr. von Buren and also from Monique. Because in this moment, thanks God, I was still young.
Because the beauty of what you just said, brands weren't that precious. That's so right, because retailers were the ones to sell the watches. Back in the day, you would see a retailer's name on the dial, then you would see a brand name, the manufacturer of the watch, and the retailer's name on the dial, the so-called co-signed dials. The funny thing is, though, that there were many spare parts or movement or case manufacturers. Squale and Van Buren were indeed suppliers to watch brands. But what is interesting, you'll find loads of vintage watches where you'll see it co-signed to watch brands. Why is that?
Yes, because Squale, you mean Squale at above 6 o'clock and the other brand at 12?
Correct.
Yeah, because as I tried to explain, is when you have this moment, when you have a Squale, the shark, at 6 o'clock, means that was a real diving watch. That's why other brands used to keep the Squale, the shark, as a warranty. This is a real watch for diving. You see, is made with a shark. And this is extremely, now this could be confusing, no? Could be, why? Maybe Blancpain or the other brands, they have a shark. But in this moment, is a sort of a warranty that the watch is a real diving watch. Is the case is built with a under a diving technology test and the procedure. Now, of course, I think many brands I mean, big brands of course they avoid to do this, you know. But in this moment was a different moment, you know, like in the life, in the history, the moment so different from now. The same is the the same we can say for the, to explain why there are in many watches to brands linked in a certain way.
Very cool to hear because Squale was a hallmark of quality. And people think that today all the collabs we see is something new, but obviously we had the collabs of the co-sign between the brand and the retailer. The first time I've seen two brands on one dial was actually Squale vintage watches. An intermezzo for our dear listeners. If you want to browse a bit while listening to this episode, the official website for Squale is squale.ch for Switzerland. And my favorite source for vintage Squale is the website thesqualecollector.com, which is the-squale-collector.com. You'll find fantastic pictures and archives and articles there. To continue, dear Andrea,
Yeah,
I dare to say your watches are too low in price. I don't want to use the word cheap. It's bizarre what you produce for the price points.
I can explain maybe this because as I already explained in the beginning, we are a family brand. We came from also another idea of making watches, no, and maybe these our mentality is a little bit as a watchmaker. Watchmaker is to produce the watch and to sell the watch, and maybe this position our brand in with a extremely low price comparing the other brands in terms of quality. Because, for instance, we use the best steel, the movement EL, or cost. We even the sapphire checked with care from us. We give extremely important to the quality, but we try to keep the price reasonable. And in a certain way, this was the reason why we started growing very fast. And in a second way, we also have this gap now because, for instance, everybody knows that the Swiss exchange rate is so crazy high compared with a few years ago, and is extremely a fight for us to keep the price under control, thinking that we come from a certain price that could be around 1,000. No? Now we have to increase the price also for the exchange rate, not only because we are increasing price, and we would like to introduce also new items with a better, better movement. But the truth that we came from a factory idea, and it's different from a brand idea. I don't know if the people can understand this. I mean, when you are a factory, you only add the value of each part, and after you make a sort of calculation, not included the brand. But the brands, after a while, comes to you. They say, "Listen, I need water to survive," you know, and this we are in this moment also in a little bit fight because our price, sincerely speaking, comparing with the quality and the standard of the other brands, are extremely low. And in a certain way, I know that many people is happy about this. We are less happy, but I don't know. We keep going and try maybe to add some more value in the future, in order that the people can understand that every increase of the price is extremely justified, not only because we want to have more money or to earn more money or to spend more money in marketing, because this is something that people maybe don't understand. We want to increase the value of our watches.
For your reference, dear listeners, my 1521 Militare with a Salita 200 retails around €1,000 US, Swiss francs ex-VAT. What's the elasticity of your brand? Because I believe the newest model is a beautiful full titanium modern watch. Is that around 3,000?
No. Now is if you yes with the steel with the sorry with the titanium bracelet grade 5 is around 2.5. But if you compare our, for instance, the titanium, talking about the titanium, if you compare our case that is titanium grade 5 and with spatial dial, the 0.8 millimeters with the index applied, and with ceramic, and the standing pressure tested to 120 atm, and with the titanium grade 5 bracelet, you don't find other. I guarantee you don't find any other watch at the same price. For instance, I don't know. So Omega says this price of 4 or 5 times. Okay, Omega is a giant. I don't want to even mention Omega, but this is exactly the difference of price between us and other brands. So it's crazy, but it's true.
So the model we're referring at is the Master, right?
Master, because Master, if you watch the brand history of Squale, the first maybe watch was the series 2002 and after the Master series, and after the Master, that was already in the 60s, was already 100 ATM, and this was something very, very important, because you cannot find other brands 100 ATM in the 60s. And the Master series for us was always the top series. So that's why we named Master Titanium, because Master for us is always the best in terms of I think in ATM resistance and in water resistance, and also in quality, of course.
So if I summarize it, niche brand, only dive watches, only mechanical, so no quartz.
In the past, we had some quartz. We are sometimes thinking about to introduce maybe a quartz, but if we ever are going to introduce a quartz, will be not only a watch with quartz movement, but also adding other plus to the watch. I don't know. For instance, in the past we made a watch named Rambo that was a quartz watch, but with 2 keys, and if you can open the case. Sorry, to switch the case, and down there was a compass. No, so in order to keep the 8 of the case with the watch, we are forced to use a quartz movement. No, so maybe introducing in the future a watch like this, we are thinking maybe to introduce a quartz, but for what but our soul is more linked to mechanic watches. I think this is a treasure also of Switzerland, no? To make crazy and fantastic watch movement, and we want to be in the middle of the story involved.
Do you have chronographs?
Chronograph we made. I'm thinking to introduce maybe next year a chrono in a vintage way and we are studying what kind of movement could fit better in order keeping the weight of the case under control, not too weight. If we want to go for a richer style, otherwise, if we want to go for a sport style, for the diamond style, we don't have this problem with the with aid of the case, with the thickness. But in this moment, we are very focused in making maybe a chrono with a vintage style. We are really starting. I mean, I make already some prototype, but they are not satisfied. My idea of a new chrono.
So Van Buren started making cases, evolved into a watch brand. Today, in 2024, how much is made in-house by Squale?
And 100% control of the assembling, and some parts are also made here. And other parts, of course, we need, for instance, the dial and hands, we need to make outside, of course. But we have a complete control of every single part of the watch. So in house, we are making 100% of the control and assembling.
Cases are still made in-house?
No, cases are, sincerely speaking, Von Buren never made in house. We have a partner we used to make, and we make some parts. And in a Swiss factory, they make a case for other brands. They are patented from Von Buren and also from us, but they are specialized in making diamond watches. We have a good connection with these people for many years. Same things comes for a family company. We are very meek to that. We are really, I can say, the watch world is not so big, and everybody know the other people, and that thanks that I'm thinking in this world for long time, I have a lot of connections. So when I have to do something, I know where I can go, and this is very important for me. For instance, the same for the titanium, Titanium, for instance, the titanium grade 5 give the also is more difficult to work compared with the titanium grade 2, but it's possible to make polishing and other works on the titanium that is not possible to do with other titanium grade. And this comes also from my knowledge about the material, and so I can go straight to the source to have this kind of titanium.
Can you speak about how many watches you produce and or sell a year?
Now, in this moment, we are making around 6,000 watches, no more.
What are the key markets? I assume Italy.
No, before was about 0 or something more Italy. Now we have a distributor, and we are increasing the sales in Italy. But the best market are United States, also because other watches are sold mainly in Singapore, in the north, in England, and in Holland, of course, in Germany, in Sweden. So in the north of Europe, not so much in the south, France and Spain, for instance, we are very, very low in terms of sales. And also in the East Europe, we are increasing a little bit. Poland, Greece, okay. And but I know for sure that many watches that we sell, for instance, in Singapore or even in England, they go to United States. So I can say that the main market is the United States. United States, they love diamond watch. This is true. When I started orientation in the Squale 20 years ago, immediately the people are calling us, mailing us, were from the States and also from Sweden, from North Europe.
Squale is 65 years old. You are only 60 years old. Let's look forward 35 years to the 100th anniversary of Squale. You'll be still a young Adonis, 95 only. Where do you dream the watch brand will be in 35 years? What do you envision?
I would like my ambition that, as I already told before, Squale became a stone in the watch history, and so gaining respect and gain, of course, markets. Not, I want. I have a. I would like now. I have a map of the world, and I would like to see Squale in the map in 80% of the country in the world. This is my dream. Okay, dream is not expensive, no, but I mean I'm working hard with the people here in order to make this dream come true. This is, I think, a dream, and for my family, for my father, for Boring. You know, I am. Still in touch with the von Buren family and with Monique and his her husband, and she's so proud when about what I'm making for Squale, that she always ready to help me. When I started again putting attention to Squale, I spent a weekend with them. She gave me all the picture of the family, or the picture with I don't know, with Jacques Mayol, with other people very famous at the moment, no? And she extremely every time we call each other few times per year, and we met also in La Châtel. She's still living there with the family, and I'm proud that she is happy that what I'm making, and this is what I would like to be in the future, is also because of, thanks to her help, and I think to be proud. I mean, I'm very family man, and I feel this as a must for me.
Using the family man as a segue, are you doing estate planning? So are you thinking of succession for the future of Squale?
Yes, I'm thinking about succession for the future, but since I'm speaking, because my son are very young, too young, I say. In this moment, I try to keep some. I have here some people that started working with me at the beginning, very young, and they are already. They have much. I can say that a little bit. My soul is in transferred in them. I would like to see them as a succession for a while, of course. This is something I'm working with for. So I'm working for.
How old are your children?
Oh, very young. I was lazy in reproduction, so I the daughter 6 years old.
So you're a young papa. Congratulations.
Very young.
Congratulations.
Yeah. My back knows.
Your back knows, yeah. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Talking about young people helping you, I, if I may, want to give a shout out actually to your right hand, your managing director, Fabio Ferrari, fantastic guy.
There is not of the Ferrari family, for unlucky for him.
Yeah. Well, lucky for him, he's in the right industry, the watch industry, because I'm worried about the car industry. So I think it's good for him. He's doing a fantastic job. So this is a shout out to him. And it also shows your strength as an owner and a manager and protecting the legacy of your brand because you're a good mentor. So that's wonderful to see and wonderful to deal and work with. What are your bottlenecks? What problems do you encounter as an entrepreneur today, and what do you foresee for the next decade?
And the problem I am facing now is, of course, maybe very easy to say, but is the market. The market in the last years, for instance, we were growing maybe even too much easily, in an easy way. Every year there was increase of sales, increase of interest. Now I can say that is more a fight. Maybe in this year, because of inflation, because of maybe this I can say war that the smell of the war around the world, and this I think the people is more scared, and we have also to remember that to sell a watch is to sell emotion, but the filter between the watch and the emotion is also the period, the economy, the scare of the people, and these sometimes stop a little bit the people that buying, and so that's why, in a certain way, I'm happy about this period, because in this moment you can see, you can check what are you doing, and we see, and we are very happy to see that a lot of people is following us and is interested in our brand, everything. This is very happy, but it's also a challenge. It's also a big challenge to increase the sales, to be strong in this moment is for a company that is a familiar company, that we don't have the money of the big brands to spend in marketing and advertising, to push too much. Understand? We have to be extremely taking care of what we are doing. Every single step, it must be really, really taken with care. But it's a challenge. It's a good challenge in a certain way. Like I can say also, like a family man, I am also very. I was also very taking care about the money. So we don't need to have money from bank. We work with our money, and this help a lot. Also, it's very, very important. We are auto financing ourselves, the company.
Truly independent.
We are really, really independent.
Talking of the next generation, so your daughter 6, my son 8, daughter almost 5. Do you think that in 20 years they will want mechanical watches?
Yes, I am quite sure about this, because, I am attending many show also of the regional, I can say, little show, no? And I see a lot of young people coming to our booth, no, asking, and they're young, and you see, the more the world is going in, I mean, okay, artificial intelligence, or internet, or everything very, very far from the mechanical style of life. I can say even for the car, no. But the more people, a lot of people, they want to come back. They want maybe also to touch something that is reliable. There is a soul inside, no? And I'm quite sure that because of this, mechanical watch will be also for the future sold. I'm quite sure about this. Because the people need to have something stable. Okay, stable. And this can be a part of the stable rod that people need to go ahead. When you have a mechanical watch, you have to wind sometimes or self-winging watch movement. This gives a different soul to a watch that only a display or like other watch that very popular.
Talking of collabs, what's your stance on that? Do you like them? Will you do more with Squale?
For what concern collabs, I think okay, we have I can say with the double brand, that you was mentioning that you find in the heritage watches a lot of double brand, so we have a sort of tradition, but collabs must be always selected in order to keep the value of the watch. So, for instance, we are working with in Italy Marina Militare. We are working with the Singapore Army Forces. We are working, okay, with the Second was a crazy collaboration. So these are welcome, no? And also because I think that if we make some collab, the people must be happy that we do something that have a soul. It's not only something related to the only for the sales. And in this way, we want to keep on going with the collabs with this identity. No, we do always we try. I can say we try to make any collab in order that people are really interested to catch the interest of the people, not only to propose another collab. It is not easy because we have so many people asking for collabs, and sometimes it's difficult not to avoid people. Uh, to say no is always bad, but I think in this way the colors that we have and we are going to do would be welcome from the market.
Andrea, you gave me the perfect note to end the show, but to make it full circle, you gave me the title of the show, Make Everything with Soul.
Yeah.
So on that, I want to wrap up this amazing interview. Grazie mille. Thank you so much, dear Andrea. It was wonderful. Thank you for sharing your life story.
Thank you, Alon. I hope to see you soon. To maybe in the future to have another chat together. I ask for to listener forgiveness for my English, and but I hope that the people enjoy this time.
I don't think you need to ask for forgiveness. It was wonderful. It was with soul. It was with passion. And I am grateful. And I'm also grateful to our dear listeners for taking the time to listen to this episode. You can find all previous episodes on our official website, www.therealtime.show. And you can find us on Instagram via the handle @therealtime.show. If you want to support the show, please subscribe, like, rate, and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feedback, and or criticism, please do send us a message. You can also DM us if you want to join the TRTS community. You can reach David on Instagram via @DAVAUCHER, Rob via @ROBNUDDS, and me via Alon Ben Joseph. And if you prefer to send us an email, you can just add our first name to @therealtime.show, like our IG handle. Stay sane and keep on ticking.